Hello, guys, and welcome back to Not Everybody Needs a Podcast with your host, Mackenzie Rencher. I feel like the first few episodes, I was getting to know y'all were getting to know me, but now we're besties, so I'm ready to chat. Last week, I was in Jacksonville for the whole week. I have my husband with me here today. I don't really like to introduce him as a guest because I told you guys whenever I don't have a guest, I just want to have him as my soundboard. We're just best friends. We bounce off of each other.
Yeah, I'm just here. I'm here for everything. The
Yeah.
support, the to be.
Also, I feel like you and I we're similar in a lot of ways, but we do disagree on a lot of hot topics, and that's what I need. I need someone to disagree with me, and that's why we work so well.
Yeah, I think we disagree, but it's also more like it's like common ground, and it's like an understanding. That's just like we can agree to disagree.
Exactly. And we always hug in the end.
Yeah, that's what marriage is about, guys.
Amen. But anyway, we spent the week in Jacksonville with our friends. We have a friend group called Grade 8. I've been a part of a lot of friend groups that have names.
Have like titles.
Yes, for
That's what
some
that's what makes
reason.
it that's what makes it meaningful.
It's like whatever the group chat name is, that's what our friend group name is. That's just how it works. But there was eight of
Correct.
us, so we just called each other the Grade 8. We've been friends since college. Well, most of them I've actually been friends with before
It's
college.
been. I feel
But
like college is when it really came together, but it was more so like some of us were friends in high school, but everybody really that group came together in college.
exactly. Like I've known Andrew longer than anybody.
Nobody knows who these people are.
Okay,
Some
whatever.
people do. I mean, so think about like it was just let's go through quickly. It ain't gonna be this whole backstory, but like,
Yeah.
all right. So it's Marissa and Trevor, and then me and Trevor were teammates, and Marissa and Mackenzie became best friends. In college, it's kind of like I was about to say wags, but it's not. You don't say college football wags, but you know what I'm saying. They were like two
We
girlfriends on the
both were
team.
dating people on the
The
Clemson
team,
football team,
so they bonded.
so we just bonded and
Olivia, we both knew her since high school
from
eh,
church.
from church.
And she's dating Andrew.
She
They're
dated
actually engaged.
engaged Andrew. Monica we knew since high school, and Monica, Olivia, and Marissa all lived together in college
Yes.
in Anderson, and then Dalton is married to Monica. So
And
it's
they've been together for like 10 years.
correct. They've been the longest tenured
And whenever
relationship.
we first started hanging out, I was friends with pretty much all of them separately. Then we all came together and it just became like
It just makes sense.
yeah, it just made sense. Everybody got along. The boys all loved each other. We all loved each other. And now we're like friends for life. So that's what we were doing in
It really
Jacksonville.
is for like because at some point we haven't. We're also still young enough to like to go through different stages of friendships. We had some
Yeah.
friendships that some things are seasonal. Some people you cool with them and you enjoy the season. You think it's gonna be we're gonna be friends forever.
Okay, but to be fair,
What?
most of my friends I do keep forever.
No, that's not true. You got friends in high school that I met when we first started dating that you're not friends with anymore. You have people you live with that you're not friends with anymore.
Okay, yes, but I'm saying at this stage in life, I feel like these
That's what I was
friends.
saying. I'm saying we are at a state. We made it to the point where like
Oh, I thought you were saying the
it
opposite.
has like almost pushing a decade, of like friendships.
Right.
But up until that point, you think we're all gonna be best friends for life. Really, you only friends for high school or college. But we really have went through college, kind of post college, and now like we're all not all of us, but the majority of us are having babies.
Yeah.
Three of the couples now.
Me, Monica, and Marissa were all pregnant at the same time this past time. Me and Monica told each other on the same day that we were pregnant. Everyone was meeting here for our Beckham's birthday party.
Yeah,
And so everyone was staying here, like all of grade 8 was staying here. And I was just about to tell them, and Monica was like, I have a present. Like, I want you guys to open it, blah, blah, blah.
that was great.
We open it, and it's a pregnancy test. And she's like, oh, surprise, I'm pregnant. And I was like, no, me too.
Yeah.
And then months later, Marissa said she was pregnant. I still even get scared to even talk about people being pregnant because I get scared that people don't know, even though she's about to pop.
I know it is crazy. I would say if you can do this, which is I think it's every friend group's dream, have friends with your kids. Wait,
Whoa,
wait, pause.
Wait, you can be friends with your kids.
No, I meant for some reason I thought that came out way worse than what I said. Have have kids at the same time as your
I'm
friends.
scared.
Yeah, that was crazy. Have kids at the same time.
As your friends, yes. Also, I told you guys last week that I was going to have a guest that you guys all know and love. And while, yes, we all know and love Darian, that is not who I was referring to. And she will be on next week, okay? I got my weeks mixed up. She'll be on next week, so you guys can look forward to that. That'll be our last episode of the year. Even though we're only 3 in, that sounds so dramatic, but it will be. And it'll be 2025.
Yeah.
I want to do a whole, episode about resolutions and the new year and whatever. And by whole episode, I mean just a longer talking point of
Right.
it. But do you have any? What do you think about resolutions?
New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
I think any momentum to do anything to change is good. I will say, from my experience, the maturity comes in realizing you have the power to change like every day. Because I feel like you got to think.
That's a bar.
That's a bar. But you got to think, most people, you grow up and like everybody has New Year's resolutions, but nobody actually makes like in-year solutions. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's like actually changing and doing what they said they're going to do. And I think that, good momentum, having a calendar reset is dope. And like, it helps you like
mentally.
Yeah, mentally, like, okay, 2025 is on the way, 2024, like how can I reflect? But I think just you literally have that same power to change each day you wake up.
I personally feel like I have new resolutions every Monday. Mine this Monday was just work out once this week, Mackenzie.
No, same.
And I did this week, which I'm really proud of. And if I'm moving weird, it's because I'm so sore. And I also have
How are you gonna be moving weird right here?
I don't know. Like, I just really wanted to get off my chest that I worked out. I'm just really sore because I worked out.
Mackenzie works at one time, be like, "Am I skinnier?"
Am I? Like, can you tell? Like, and I flex. I'm like, do I look amazing?
Just blowing with the wind.
I know. But I do have a confession.
What?
That I didn't want to really tell you, but I felt like no better place than right now. That yesterday I went to the gym and forgot to put on deodorant. And normally
that's not crazy with you.
Oh my God, here he goes. Okay, something that you guys need to know about postpartum, you smell. No matter what I do, you just smell. And it's actually it's a good thing. It's supposed to happen. It happens to animals too. Is you let off a smell so that your baby can find you and they know you're close and whatever. It's actually a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's cool.
Now it's not a beautiful shout out to God. He designed everything perfectly. Although
but we listen and we don't judge. Because here's the thing. Mackenzie's amazing, beautiful, all the above. But one of the things we may have forget sometimes, because honestly, before that, I think you could get away with not wearing deodorant. Like you could literally, you just don't smell. But sometimes, you might
postpartum only.
No, you might miss a day, and I'll be like, you know what?
Okay, he's capping.
No,
okay. Don't have the people thinking I don't smell delicious.
You don't stink. I'm saying like you'd be like, I'm gonna go work out. I'm like,
I know. God forbid that I forget a little deo here and there. But the reason why it really mattered yesterday was because I pull up to this class. I'm a little late. I'm like, whatever. No one will notice. Like,
it was
whatever.
packed.
No. They were worse.
To the rim.
Worse.
Overflow.
3 people were in that dang class. So you know that the instructor was on me the entire time. Okay. So I'm like, he's like, all right, I'm going to challenge you. Get to a 5 here. And I'm literally like, if you don't get away from me, like at least 10 feet. Because usually if there's a lot of people in the class, I'm like, whatever, he's going to challenge the people that are like super fit and like, just leave me alone. No, yesterday there was no getting past. I literally was like, Darian would be dying. That is funny. But I do need you to call me out though, like for sure. But also, like, it really isn't my fault because postpartum is just a crazy time.
No, yeah. Shout out to the women that navigate postpartum.
It's really no joke.
Yeah. How has your experience been?
Postpartum?
Yeah.
It's been good. I mean, it's definitely had its ups and downs. I talked about it last week, but most days I feel very steady. But then there are certain days where I feel like I'm all over the place. And I don't know if it's like hormone shifts, because I did hear recently that the 3 to 4 month mark is a big hormone shift postpartum. Yeah. And I think that that's kind of what I was experiencing a few weeks ago because, I was going crazy. The amount of times I like came to Darian and was just sobbing and he's like, literally, what's wrong? And I'm like, everything. But yeah, I just think sometimes it does get very overwhelming with the trying to do everything. For example, the working out thing. I feel like sometimes I'm just like, that's just not a priority to me this week. I need to work. I need to make my kids feel prioritized. Yeah. I need sleep. I need to hang out with my husband. I need, to work. Did I already say that? I don't know. There's just so many things to be done. I need to not go crazy if there's a dish in the sink because,
For sure. Pet peeve.
Yeah, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. I do not like having dishes in the sink, like even a fork. There's just something that grosses me out about it. I don't know why. But yeah, I think overall I've been very blessed to have a really good postpartum experience. So Yeah, overall good. I definitely feel better this week. Last week I was on a downward spiral.
We love that.
Yeah, well,
We love the redemption.
okay,
Or
good.
feeling better.
Thanks for
we don't love the down.
reiterating.
Yeah.
If I'm acting different,
Shout
it's
out.
because
Shout out.
I got a new ring, guys.
Yeah.
Last week after we got done recording, Darian was like, he was kind of acting weird, but I wasn't picking up on it because we kind of had a lot of people here. We had a friend in town visiting us, and the people that help us record our podcast were here, and he was like, took Kason from me, and I just kind of was sitting on the couch. I was starving. I didn't eat before the episode, so I was eating my Chick-fil-A, whatever.
There's a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. And so I wasn't even paying attention, and all of a sudden, he walks out with flowers, and he has one of our friends recording a video, and I was like, what is going on? And I was so frazzled from the episode and whatever. And guys, I mean, after I saw the flowers and I realized he was coming towards me, I was like, my ring must be ready. Because I told you guys it was on the way. He took my ring. So I knew something was going on, but I didn't know the details of it or anything like that. And so he got down on one knee and he re-proposed.
Shout out. Look.
It was very romantic.
No, that was like a cool milestone. So story time, backstory behind it was, obviously you can't really surprise your wife if you take a ring. But it was more so like, we had talked about this. At some point, we wanted to do it. I just felt like it was kind of becoming the right time. And we both felt mutually about it. And I was like, hey, give me a ring and just don't ask any questions. Give me like a month, half, and just, you know what I'm saying, rock. Is that just, what do you call the smaller one? Just the band?
Yeah, the wedding band.
The wedding band. And I was like, you'll get your ring back at some point. And the kind of like thinking through prayer, quiet time, I just feel like, you know, it'd be cool to do 2 carats to symbolize 2 kids that we brought into the world. Like I said, been saying more so you brought them into the world.
2 extra carats.
Yeah, 2 extra carats.
Like adding.
To add on to what we already had, just because I feel like it symbolized just the growth, depth, maturity, and just I feel like we've been elevating in life, which is good. I feel like we've done so much. I've been blessed to do a lot. We've gotten our new cars. We moved into this house almost a year ago, which has been a blessing for our family. And then that was, I don't think we're materialistic. All in all, I don't feel like a relationship is that, but I do think material things can symbolize some great things. Like I feel like they always do. And so, yeah, we got a new ring, and somebody commented.
She's beautiful.
Somebody commented, made me laugh. I love TikTok comments. TikTok comments are superior for sure. Somebody was like, "Well, is she about to have baby number 3, so she get one more carrot?" I was like, "No, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop here."
No,
we're gonna cut it. I think this is.
Someone said, "Are you gonna have 6 kids to get 6 carrots?"
Yeah.
Said, all right, y'all are doing the most.
Yeah,
but
we're not gonna do that. But
no, it was very important to me. Why did I say that like that?
I don't know.
It was very important to me that I got to keep my band part of it because I don't know. That's the part that like touches your skin.
Right.
And I always want to keep that the same. So I was like, okay, don't even mess with it if you have to mess with the band because I really, really want that to stay
also,
the same.
people don't understand because I think some people, I saw some of the comments, and basically the way you do it, the way we did it, you can do it different ways, is we took the ring I originally got her in college and I traded in, and then we put that value towards this ring and got this ring. So it's the same ring. It's not like she had to make it's
just a different stone.
Yeah, different stone. The center stone.
Yeah.
And so now we're here, and then I'm trying to think what else that I want to say that. Then do you want to talk about the Beckham stuff? Like people like,
oh well, yes.
I get it, but also I just think that
okay. So basically, some of people's takes were, do you not want to give the ring to your daughter? And that was my take as well. But I'm still going to give this ring to my daughter. And the thing is I would never give that. I wouldn't give my ring to her until I died, regardless.
Right.
Because, hello, what am I gonna have? It's my ring.
But I also think people were commenting more so like you should pass it on to Beckham for her wedding ring, and I'm just like not trying to be weird, but I'm like if whoever decides to fall in love with Beckham, which hey brother, you better have your stuff together.
Truly, she's a special girl.
I hope you have done enough to be able to afford a ring for my daughter.
Yeah, whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
But I'm saying it's just a principle.
Ring.
I don't want to. I do see some families do that where you give the guy a ring, and I'm not saying you let him off. I want to give my son-in-law, which is that's so crazy to think about. I would love to give him anything that's our family's, but I think for a purchase into the family or like a rite of passage, you should be able to buy my daughter a ring. I don't want you to depend on me to give you a ring for my daughter. That just seems bad.
And to be fair, the expenses of a wedding traditionally fall on the daughter's family.
Yeah.
Or the wife or the fiance's family.
Yeah.
Which is us.
Right.
We gotta save. Because I just know if Beckham's like me.
Oh, no. We're going to go all out.
She's going to, like, love to the host and do parties, and she's going to want her wedding to be amazing. And
we're going to do...
We got to start saving.
We're going to do it big when that time
gosh.
comes. That's like...
Speaking of weddings.
Yeah.
After December, it's, like, wedding season.
I think to me, it's prom wedding season. And I would just... We grew up both in the South, and it's notorious that you do not have weddings in the fall. You get some winter weddings, but it's just, I just don't.
Because of football.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe that's like obnoxious, but it's just a way of thinking like football really does run the fall time. And I think to put a wedding in the fall is just kind of crazy, especially if you're home.
I think it's crazy that someone would miss someone's wedding for a Clemson football game. That's what I think is crazy. I respect and I honor the Tigers. Don't get me wrong.
If somebody got season tickets now, you asking a lot. That's crazy.
What's crazy is the fact that people only get married once, and that's what people are worried about.
No, I know. I would just think it would be more considerate and more thoughtful and just
not everyone can have a wedding in April.
All around awareness to probably not plan it for the fall. I would say if you do it on a bye week or a away game. But to do it on a home game in the city or region of there's a big college football game, I think
scenario. Close friend, but not bestie, getting married. It's USC versus Clemson.
Clemson?
He's getting married at 7 o'clock. The game starts at 7.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Like, am I in the wedding?
No, you're not in it. You're an attendee. You guys have been friends for a few years. You didn't know if you were going to get invited or not. It was on the edge, and he ended up saying, Darian, I want you to come. You get the invite in the mail. You're not best friends. You're friends. And you get invited. I just keep making the longest scenario. Then you get invited
to the game.
To the game, box tickets.
Box tickets.
You're sick. You're sick.
If it's this year's game and there is a top 15 matchup, it depends when he sent the invite out. If he sent it to me late,
I'm calling 911 because you need to get arrested. That's ridiculous.
I don't know if I would do that. I personally think I played, so I haven't had enough experience to go to games. I just think overall.
How many games do you need to go to? Like,
me?
They're all the same.
They're not the same.
Okay, I don't even mean that.
They're not the same.
I don't mean that, but you've seen what you needed to see.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I got my fix. I think I personally could miss out, but I just think overall, you asking a lot of people that this is their, like, you got to think, you get 7 home games. These are people.
How many weddings do you get?
I mean, we getting a lot, but
No.
but I know individually. I'm just saying overall. I think when you think about a wedding party or wedding people or wedding group, you should consider. I think it's on people's schedules. It's a lot easier to do weddings in the spring if you can. But let's get to that.
Whatever. What I wanted to talk about was we got married in April.
Yeah.
That's irrelevant to what I'm about to say, but
okay.
Just saying we did what Darian wanted to do, and I wanted to get married in April regardless, but just we didn't do it in football season.
Well, it made sense because a lot of our lives do revolve around sports.
Yes,
or did
like his coach obviously wouldn't have been able to come. Like 50% of the people wouldn't have been able to come.
All my
they were
teammates.
Teammates and all of that. So we didn't really have an option because so many people we loved played and whatever, or were in the NFL and also had
or just connected to football.
Right. So we got married in April. Whatever. Now, a hot take. Should your parents be able to invite their friends that you're not super close with to your wedding?
Yeah, this is good.
And did we bump into that?
Yeah, I think so. Context is now it depends what a leverage is, and I think this is good to talk about. If your parents are forking out everything, then beggars can't
Zip your lips.
Yeah, beggars can't be choosers. But for us, we did chip in a nice portion to have the wedding we wanted to have. So I do think we
had more of a say.
But even going back to that, I do think because we're gonna be parents, and I'm gonna be honest, we're gonna invite some of our friends because we paying for it.
Yes, but to be fair though, our parents' friends were not necessarily like the biggest and like a part of our life.
No, correct.
You know, whereas when we call our friends aunt and uncles to our kids, they are going to be around. They're coming to your birthday parties. They're coming most of the time to our family vacations, things like that.
It should be a mutual understanding. It shouldn't be like
that's who your cousins are going to be.
No, correct. I think when parents make their kids' weddings about them, it to me that's weird because
It gets weird.
Yeah, because it's not.
My thing is, I wouldn't even want to invite someone to an event that my daughter didn't want there. I would feel weird about that, or my son.
Yeah.
If my like son or daughter was like, I don't want Stacy to come, Mom, I would be like, okay, I'm not out here like, well, I paid this much money, I should be able to have Stacy come. What, Stacy? You can stay at home.
Yeah.
I'll show you pics, and it'll hit the same.
I think, like I said, I think is if people are interconnected, then it makes sense. I think when you try to force people that you just like, you want them there to come to your kid's wedding, I think that's weird. But I do think it depends on the situation. I think, like I said, it depends on some of the financial dynamics. And
I think our kids will want our friends there.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you should want people there that your kids want there. And you know that for a fact. Like you're not guessing around it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Do you have any other wedding hot takes?
Yeah, I got a bunch.
Give me one.
Let's get into really just ceremony. Because to me, hey, look, we're going to give y'all the breakdown real quick because wedding season is important. And I will say, like anything in life, guys, you need to go to weddings to be able to have an understanding of how you want your wedding day to be. Because ultimately, there's some things I think are principles. I think some things are preferences that ultimately you should figure out which is which for you. But on ceremony, here's what I'll say is, all right, we're believers, so you have a pastor there, right? You need to know what your pastor's going to be saying. Because I've been in some weddings, bro. Look, I've been in some weddings. We've been sitting there, and I'm like, there's like, no way you knew what he was going to say. Like, making jokes about, like, sex jokes, like.
Oh, sex jokes? We've had them basically, like, already dooming the marriage before it starts. They're like, listen, marriage is hard. Marriage is nearly impossible. There will be days that you look at your spouse and you hate their guts. I'm like, okay, hold on.
What are we blessing here?
What are we doing here?
What are we doing? So you need to know, like, you should have one. You should pick the pastor. Sometimes the parents pick the pastor, and it's like you need to have a sit down conversation, and most likely the pastor should be doing your premarital, which I advise to any couple do premarital counseling.
Premarital is
good,
key.
especially with a couple that you look up to and admire. Mm-hmm. And so they should be able to know you. To me, it's weird when I'm sitting in the ceremony and I feel like this pastor is like he's learning who you are, and I'm like, shouldn't you know these things? Like, you're like, do you know these people you're marrying? Are you just signing off on this like just because you get a check? You need to know what your pastor's gonna be saying, because
okay, another thing is that you need to give your pastor how long they should be talking.
Shot clock.
Hey,
brother. Hey, look, you got the ball in your hands, but you don't have it forever. Look, you need to know.
Wrap it up, brother. I have been a part of so many ceremonies that I'm like, there's no way that this pastor, he acted like it was a Sunday morning.
No, and it's like this ain't your moment to shine, my guy. Or female. We salute female.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah, but this is not your time to be shining and doing like what you want to be doing. Like, you over here. Also, I'm just keeping it a buck too. I've been to some weddings where, especially if the people or the parents are some affluent, like they have some influence in the world, and I feel like the pastor's almost trying to like impress the crowd. Yes. I'm like, hey, bro, all right.
We laughed 3 times. 3 times max jokes.
3 times max jokes, and this ain't a full sermon. Like, let's talk about the union. Let's talk about...
Like, when I say wrap it up, I mean wrap it up.
Yeah, it should just be a nice little flow. I feel like, to me, it doesn't need to be short. You want to be some type of substance there, because I do believe marriage is beautiful, and you are depicting God's greatest gift to, besides Jesus himself, to what the world is. So I think there needs to be substance, and ultimately I think it's symbolizing and educating the crowd on the beauty of marriage. So I think you need to have something there. It doesn't need to be too quick, like I said, because that's important. But also, it's not a sermon. It's not a sermon. Like, it's not a full preach. So somewhere in between is where you find a middle ground. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah. So like I said, pastors, officiants out there, some of y'all, you need your marriage license revoked, because y'all. I wish the congregation could vote. Like,
no.
Like, how do you
we
do
need
it?
to start doing
like
surveys.
Like how you do? Because I didn't been to some. It's bad when everybody starts looking at one another like.
I would actually love that. Yeah. That should actually start to be a requirement. Surveys after
like a QR code.
I wouldn't even mind that on a Sunday.
No.
Okay, sorry.
That's crazy.
Sorry.
That's crazy. And then my next take would be, this isn't a hot take. I do think, to me, we went to a wedding where people read their vows. Like they did the traditional vows.
Love that.
And then they read their vows, their personal vows they wrote for their partner.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like so moved by that. I thought that was so like special and beautiful because it's a culmination of like the entire story of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like the beginning.
We did that and it felt so personal because obviously you have your vows like.
Just like the traditional. Like I think that's.
Wait, why could I not think of what they are?
I don't know. Yeah, I was just like.
What is it?
I don't know. I mean,
I take this woman.
Yeah.
To be my lawfully
wedded husband or wife.
Whatever. But
for
yeah,
better,
but
for
then
worse,
whenever you
richer, poor.
write your own, it's just way more personal. I feel like everybody there really gets to experience your love.
Correct.
And how much you love each other and like the unique way that you love each other.
Right. So I if I'm one, that's a preference. I do think it is cool and I think special when people write the vows. So I would say if you're getting married and you're thinking about what to do, I would tell you to write your vows for your person and read them in front of the people because I feel like it's beautiful. One, just for you to express that, and it's one of the few moments that day. So we get to this too, where I feel like you're just still. Like I feel like everything feels like it is because it's a rehearsal routine, and you're really able to be in the moment and like really take in the fact that you're marrying this person, and it's personal.
And it was so sweet that you were telling not only me, but in front of everybody that we know, love, and our family, our friends, how much you uniquely love me and all the things that you promise in front of them. Because if you ever step away from that, you have people to keep you accountable.
Correct. I got more takes. Because I feel like this is important. We're literally giving y'all like wedding 101. All right, so let's get into who gets invited to the wedding.
Yeah, that's...
Because we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. I think you should think about when's the last time we texted this person.
Darian, you're preaching to your dang self.
I know. I'm saying though.
Darian wanted to invite somebody that he knew 10 years ago in elementary school. Sorry, 50 years ago in elementary school to our wedding. I'm like, when's the last time you talked to him? He's like, no. Like we're so close. Still. Like I knew. We're locked in. We were in elementary school, and I still, if I ever saw him, I'd say hi.
Stop.
I'm not paying. It's crazy when you start breaking down a head.
You pay to plate.
What you pay per head at your wedding. I'm like, I promise you, Tommy from the 4th is not worth $200 a head. Like, please.
Like I said, I think one, you obviously got capacity, but you really obviously family gets in. But then honestly, some family
even then.
Hey, look.
Even then.
Hey, no, for real, because you get down to the point. Where, okay,
Aunt Carol? I've never met Aunt Carol. We've been together 5 years.
Did you come to my graduation?
Did you send me a check for my graduation?
Did you? Have you texted me on my birthday? But you want to come to the biggest day of my life? No, thank you.
Crazy.
But like immediate family.
What is it with weddings that people want to get invited so bad?
I mean, it's just fun. Like free food, get to dress up, take pictures.
Okay, sure. But I'm like, if you don't even care that I...
Right. No,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so some family, unless you just come from like, y'all just do family reunions and everybody's together, but like a lot of...
Which I do. I'm kind of jealous of those people that do have like big families.
Like I said, family... Who you interact with on a yearly basis, for sure, or like you have deep ties with, they get invited. Friends, just like who do you obviously immediate friends who you lock in with. And then you got to think about the tricky part gets down to like couples too, because you're like, well now like you say, you talk about heads, and if I invite them, like I invite that person,
which is you do.
Then it's like
that does get difficult. I'm kind of
how long y'all been
like
together?
You have to give people +1s
for sure.
If they've been together 6+ months.
6+ months is the cutoff, or if they're like really close to you.
Yeah, or if they're really close to you, just started. Well, because going to a wedding alone is kind of like
it's weird.
And we had ours in Bluffton, South Carolina.
Yeah.
So everyone had to travel, and we don't know anyone that lives there.
Yeah.
If you're asking people to travel, you kind of have to pay for their +1.
No, for sure, I agree. Yeah, but then it gets to the point like when you talk about +1s, okay, especially when somebody asks like,
"Can I bring Stacy?" I didn't even know you were dating somebody.
Y'all not on Instagram.
Yeah, if you haven't even posted her on Instagram, no, she can't come.
No, she can't come. Like
you have to go public with her before.
Yeah, like you wildin'. But I'll make sure one of our other single friends, you're sitting at the same table with them, so you don't what.
If they're with someone?
No, I'm
saying. Oh, you're saying if they're
like,
single.
Another like single like person of the same sex.
Okay, well, last night I was listening to a podcast while I was cooking dinner, and sorry, I just felt like I was like the best wife ever because I said I was cooking dinner. But anyway,
Thank you for that.
No, I'm saying like it felt like I was bragging, but it's just a fact. But anyway, I was cooking dinner, and I was listening to a podcast. My favorite podcast is Brooke and Connor made a podcast make a podcast, and they were talking about living vicariously through your children, and I started getting a little fearful that we could absolutely accidentally slip into that.
Okay.
Because me and my friends talk about a lot how we have to keep each other accountable by not being weird boy moms, like not being the weird boy moms.
We're moving on from wedding stuff.
Yeah, we got to go from
Okay.
that. I can't let that be my whole episode.
Cool.
But if you guys love the hot takes on weddings, we will gladly bring that back. We could genuinely make that a segment.
The only thing we can touch on that.
Is there something you need to get off your chest?
Music.
Okay, that actually is so important.
Okay.
We can talk about that.
But then we'll finish with this.
Okay.
Because you got me going. And I just think that like the people are here now, and if you stay this long, you want to know what we think. If we got more, like I said, we could do another segment on this. Is
right.
Ultimately, like here's my take on music. If I'm your best friend, I'm dancing. If I'm not, well, if I'm in a wedding party, I feel obligated to you to help you have a good time at your wedding.
That's a must.
That's just friendship 101.
Mm-hmm.
If I am not in the wedding party, it is up to you to influence me to dance. I am not obligated to break a sweat at your wedding. I will stay with my tie to my neck. I'm not losing my tie. I'm not unbuttoning my shirt. If the music does not make me move, I will be off to the corner.
That's not on me.
Eating the charcuterie board and chilling. But I will say, I made a point at our wedding. You will be moved by the music,
by the tunes.
You will be dancing. We're gonna be everything. So that's why I say, because
that is one of the biggest parts of the night. And if you don't get that right, that's tough.
It's tough, because especially when you get there, you feel like nobody's really having fun, or everybody's just jumping around.
And sometimes you can't control it, because I've been to one wedding where the DJ would not listen to the bride and groom,
which is crazy.
They were like, stick to this playlist. Do not play this. Do not play that. My man was going on his own ride, honey. He was at his own wedding for all he knew. Yeah, he had one hand on the ear. He was like,
I got you.
And they're like, do you mind sticking to the playlist? And he's like, oh yeah, I got you. Next song, not on the freaking playlist. That's my worst nightmare. But anyway, yeah, that is your responsibility. That is one of the biggest parts of the night. Now, if you want to just move and groove and tip and tap, then get a band and call it a night.
Bands aren't terrible.
No, I'm not saying bands are terrible, but like, you have less control.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a big part of that. You can't.
The music is we call it
that and the food.
Club Renter was a movie.
Club Renter was a movie. I do wonder if people feel the same way about our wedding that we did. Because, at your wedding, honey, it's the time of your life. You plan everything to a T.
You see the vibes. Like, you can't. The vibes are undeniable.
Can't lie. The vibes don't lie.
I look around and I see. We didn't show that clip of my dad dancing.
Do we?
No. Or Christian. Or my mom dancing. Like, that's like,
my God.
From young to old, everybody was moving.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see.
That is what you want to see.
All right, go on.
I just got embarrassed that my dogs are out. I don't know if you can see them. I don't know what's involved with them, but I am just, if you make direct eye contact with my dogs at some point in this, do you mind looking away?
Okay, now I feel like people don't get your feet.
Okay, but I just had to get that out. Anyway, living vicariously through your kids, they were talking about like, oh, like, do you ever get scared you're going to do that? And this girl was talking about like, basically, I mean, yeah, sometimes I catch myself doing it already and I have to like be careful or whatever.
Give me an example.
Like,
so I was thinking about sports, but I don't really, what's the normal like living vicariously?
No, I guess just any achievements of your children or anything that they do, like finding your value and worth in them and what they do. I mean, it could be Beckham doing a cartwheel. And it's like, you take it as your own.
What's the line between being like proud and being living vicariously through you?
I guess that's what I want to talk about, because I feel a fear.
I know in
deep
sports
down.
for sure.
Well, I feel like no matter what, our kids are going to be involved in something. So let's just say Beckham and her dance. Like, I could like get really living vicariously through my kids. Like, basically, Connor on the podcast was saying that he found out later in life that his mom made him take piano lessons just because she wanted to learn how to play piano, and they've had a piano in their house their whole life and she's never learned.
Right.
And then she would force him to go every week to his piano lesson. He's like, I was doing this for you. I just didn't know. And I'm just scared that what is the line with our kids of encouraging them to do something
that we enjoy?
I guess, because I'm like, we kind of get to choose what they do.
No, for sure. I think you're gonna be a big influence. I think to me, it's all about like. Ultimately, I think I'm gonna hang my hat, and my pride is gonna be like who I am as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Is like that's my biggest calling card. When I think about sports, I'm saying everybody knows that dad who, like, he didn't amount to much, but his son is like showing some promise on a sports team, and he's like, yelling, screaming, doing everything, and like his whole mood would change if his son wins or loses a game.
It's
like,
frightening.
Like that's crazy. Like we all know those dads out there. To me,
and moms,
no, for sure, dads and moms. Like your whole identity is wrapped around and your kids like wins success. To me, it's different when you're like there and you obviously care because it's like formative, like wins and losses, how they perform. But you're more so just proud that they're out there. You want them to do the best they can do. You know, I don't think that like.
I guess what I'm saying is we have to keep we're the only people who can keep each other accountable. Me and my friends are keeping each other accountable about not being weirdo boy moms.
Right.
Me and you have to keep each other accountable with not living vicariously through our children.
The only example I give right now, Beckham goes to gymnastics class, which is like every week, which is adorable, cute, and great. And like I be wanting her to do stuff, especially when other kids are doing stuff. Like she took forever. She's so strong, but she couldn't get the concept of like hanging on the bar. And I'm like, Beckham, you can do it. And the other kids are like, look like little monkeys out there. They're like swinging and jumping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Beckham, like,
you got it, girl.
You got it. And I felt like a little bit weird because I was like, you can do this. But I didn't leave that day thinking like, oh my gosh, like I'm like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
But whenever she does do something, I just get happy.
Yeah. No, you don't cross the line. I feel.
Not now. I mean, but I feel like in my heart, I'm like, I think it's just I'm just proud. Like I'm proud of her progress. I'm not just.
Right. You want to encourage her because you know she can do something.
Right. But I'm not
just being a good dad.
Yeah. But I'm not just like, if she doesn't.
You know what I just got emotional about?
What?
The fact that she's about to turn 2 next month.
Yeah.
We are hosting so many different things. I just hosted a girl's Christmas party. Am I stuttering like a crazy person?
I didn't think it was that bad, but go ahead.
Sorry. I'm pissing myself off. I hosted a Christmas decorating party. Mm-hmm. We're about to host a Christmas party.
Right.
By the time this comes out, it'll be over.
Yeah.
I'll make some TikToks about it. We're about to host New Year's Eve.
Yep.
We're going to host Beckham's birthday party.
You missed Christmas brunch.
Oh, and we're hosting Christmas, and we hosted Thanksgiving and Friendsgiving. Bro. Anyway, she's about to turn 2. When she turns 2, she has to change rooms at church. That means the people that we normally drop her off with aren't going to be there. We have to make one of them go with her.
She won't care.
You are joking yourself.
Beckham doesn't care now.
You think?
Yeah, I think she's moved past that.
But is that because she knows the room and she knows the people?
No, I think she just is okay with being left now.
Okay, so don't fear.
No, I know. Yeah, I have no fear. I will say what's so crazy about this whole event planning situation is Mackenzie's, oh my gosh, we planned 6 events. We had to do this or this. This is what Mackenzie lives for. This is what Mackenzie loves to host. She's like, we host too much, but here's one more event we can do at our house. No, I didn't
say we host too much. I just say, oh, I have a lot to do for like these events. And you have to plan so far ahead, not only for invites, but also you have to order things. You have to make sure like you have the balloons. What's New Year's Eve without a balloon? You know, you got to order the balloons. Right. Did that last month, honey. You just have to always be thinking ahead. And then I have to go to the grocery store because like our Christmas party is going to be very fun and pretty and cute. But you know, we have things to do for it. All right, I hear a mama and some pit-pattering feet, so that means it's time to wrap up. So let's end with Mackenzie's mindset. I'm going to do this segment every single week where I give you guys advice on things based on what I would do, and we can let Darian chime in because he has some good advice. The first question is, how do you deal with heightened emotions in motherhood, and I guess fatherhood on your end? This is a great question because you are always going to have heightened emotions, whether that's because you're sleep deprived or whether you are just having a bad day yourself, and obviously your kids go first or they come first. So I would say a lot of times if I get up before the kids and actually spend time praying, reading, doing something that makes you happy, whether that's listening to music, making yourself breakfast, making yourself a cup of coffee, and like actually thinking about you know, who you want to be that day and being the best version of yourself, it makes those moments a lot easier to breathe through and focus on. So I would say that. What would you say? How do you deal with heightened emotions in fatherhood?
I think just taking a deep breath and realizing like everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think whenever I'm the most disciplined, my days go a lot smoother. So like if I get up early in the morning and I get my workout in, I read, like it allows me to just be a lot more balanced.
I saw someone say once that sometimes they look at their toddler's hands to see how small they are to remember like how they're little and they're just learning.
Oh, that's sweet.
I know, and sometimes I do that when I'm frustrated.
Can I look at my hands and realize I'm learning? And Oh, that was kind of sweet.
That was sweet.
But on the real though, I feel like it is.
Just remember that they're learning and they also do not know how to manage their emotions. Like they're not trying to throw a fit. They are learning. And
Correct.
just be patient with yourself and be patient with them. And I've definitely had times where I've had to apologize.
Yeah,
to
happy on to
even
be
my
patient.
toddler.
Be patient with yourself because it's parenting is not easy. Even in like a good dynamic, it's still like challenging and has its moments.
Okay, last one. Trying not to self-sabotage a new healthy relationship after ending such a toxic one. You've never been in a toxic relationship, have you?
Nah, but I definitely know what self-sabotaging feels like.
Yeah. I was definitely in a toxic relationship in high school. Ew. Crazy time. But I found myself doing that with Darian whenever we first started dating. We had such a healthy relationship and I didn't really know what to do with that. I kind of wanted to create issues.
Yeah.
That kind of stems from some of my childhood where I always was in chaos in my childhood. So I didn't really know what it felt like to be still and have a healthy, normal relationship. So I worked through that in therapy, to be honest, a lot. And then also just privately in my relationship with God and just learning that not everything has to be chaotic. It's okay to be still and have a healthy relationship and not to cause problems on purpose, which sounds crazy, but when you've been in a toxic relationships, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It feels weird not to have an issue and you'll almost create one and make one up in your head.
Yeah.
And that's something only therapy and Jesus Christ could fix.
Yeah, amen. I think self-sabotage in my mind is like rooted in just like obviously past trauma, like insecurity and fear. And like obviously you can do relationships, but it really isn't just in life. So I think for me, the way I've overcame that would just be realizing that I'm deserving of good things, you know?
Yeah.
Because ultimately that's what people like. You either bad things have happened or like kind of for you, to you, or just around you, and you believe the fact like I'm not worthy of a good relationship or achieving this or accomplishing this, and so you almost like you feel like something's in the way, but you're the one in your own way.
Totally.
And it's a tough place to be in because ultimately, like you have to free yourself from like the inside out. You know, like obviously with the help of God and like hopefully peers. But more so, it really is like a self discovery more than it is anything because it's more a reflection of. Obviously, if you have a bad partner, you have a bad partner. But I'm saying it's more a reflection of how you feel about yourself more so than how somebody's treating you. Mm-hmm. To me,
so true.
That allows you to like walk in the freedom of.
What a good answer.
Thank you.
Love that. All right, guys. Well, we have some kids to feed and take care of. So that is going to be it for today's episode. If you guys are watching on YouTube, subscribe. If you're watching on Spotify and Apple, also subscribe. Love you guys. Thank you guys for all the love on the podcast. It really means so much to me. I care so much about this being good, about this being quality, and this being worth listening to. And so the fact that anyone would think highly of it makes me so happy and makes me feel honored. So yeah, next week I have a good episode planned for you guys with an amazing guest. You guys can take your guesses. This time is for real. She will be here next week. Love you guys, and I'll see you next week with Not Everybody Needs a Podcast.